You know, my guest, Pastor Manning, says if your marriage bed is cold, your relationship is probably cold too. Mm-hmm. So what are the things that are keeping you and your spouse from connecting sexually? Let's talk about the communication do's and don'ts that can really ruin a healthy sexual life in marriage. That's what I want to talk about, and I want to talk about it through the backdrop of a new movie coming out called 50 Shades of Grey. Oh. The pastor said, oh.
Wow.
If I could just jump in there for just a minute. Mm-hmm. My wife and I, we do a workshop called Communication, Sex, and Finances. Mm-hmm. And you've got to learn to communicate. You got to be able to speak each other's language, to draw each other out. I believe that given the schedules and all of those things, couples are not taking the time to communicate. That is a key component when it comes to intimacy. Intimacy means that I'm into you.
That's right. Now let me stop you, because I like to be, we just go there. Okay. The bottom line is this. Mm-hmm. When I try to talk to him about this, he don't want to hear that. He doesn't want to hear. He doesn't want to engage with me. He's just as embarrassed as I am. Mm-hmm. He might ask me, where'd you learn all that foolishness from?
All right, you just said something.
Okay.
We don't take time to talk about sex when we're in the act. We need to take a date, go down to Starbucks, sit and drink some coffee and just talk about our sex life. And learn how to talk about it. Couples don't talk about it. We do it, but we don't talk about it.
I like you, because you know what I mean? But let me tell you, I'm just going to hit you right between the eyes.
Bring it.
Most husband and wife can't look each other in the eye and talk about sex. Guess what? Yes. Most husband and wife, when they have sex, they cut the lights off. It's dark. You don't even look into each other's eyes when you have orgasm. It's a different deal.
I agree with you, but what we've got to do, we've got to change the paradigm.
Yeah, we do. I agree.
We got to undergo a paradigm shift.
I agree 100%.
Sex is a gift. Mm-hmm. It's not a reward, nor should it be used as a weapon.
Wow.
Okay.
I like that.
And so it's a gift. And when do you give a gift? You know, what's that fella? James Ingram got the song out, Just Because.
Just Because.
Just Because.
And so we do realize, I'm going to go back to this intimacy, because see, that's where the women are. And let me give you an example. I too do workshops in this area, and I get things from women like, he's using me as a sperm bank. In other words, he's you know, the movies are on and he's getting all it, and then he just, So
Deborah, it gets back again to, we need to encourage fathers to be present for their sons, to talk with their sons about women. A lot of times you'll hear from a man, well, don't let that woman control you. Okay? You know, he'll say several things about his wife or whatever, and their son's learning that. And they're learning it at a very young age, and then all of a sudden at 20, 25, or whatever, we expect them to be somebody different. When all they've heard is this, and they haven't heard the truth. You know, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth is, we were all created emotional.
We were.
Okay? Yeah, right. No matter what our purpose was initially, in as far as expanding the creation, and the fact that there are roles to be played, okay, that God gave us, He made us all emotional. We're not void of that. We just need to understand and know that it's okay, and how a man should express his emotionality, and that it's okay to do that. And
so
the movies and the books
with men
haven't helped us.
Who's doing workshop with, you know, let me give you another scenario, because I mean, they bring it to Miss Deborah, because I allow it, okay? They come to Miss Deborah and he wants a free marriage. Where did that come from? Free what?
I think we can ask who's doing the workshops for the men, but Miss Deborah, the best person and the person in best position to minister to those men are these wives. That I can get up and preach to the men, but you are in the best position to minister to your husband where he is. Help him to understand what those needs are and how you feel.
Okay, so we try to do that, Bobby. For example, let me give you an example. I have talked to him. We've gone to counseling.
Well, that's where you mess up.
Wait a minute. I've talked to him. We've gone to counseling because we've been married 20 years, and when we get in the bed to actually actually have sex. It's 30 seconds, he's ejaculated, and I'm just here. Okay?
But remember, we're talking about there are
20
those,
years. How many times he need to be talked to?
there are those who, and I think some of the younger generation now, actually, if you look at the decisions they're making, career-wise and what have you, you'll see that they're kind of coming back to family a little bit. But the thing is, there are those who are working it. Okay? The people we're talking about here, the ones who are having trouble, okay? And then there's some in the middle that they've kind of figured it out and they're trying to figure out how to make it work. If you preach a sermon and you give them the guidance through your sermons and through your church groups and what have you, you can put these people on the right path.
That's right.
But these people that are over here that are hurting a lot, and there's a lot of pain there and suffering and anger, it's going to take some extended work on that.
I would like to just start with the people in the audience at the church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because there's a undercurrent.
Yes. There's emotional pain is what it is.
Exactly.
And on the male side and on the female side, and that's one of the do's for us as far as sexuality and communication is we have to do some of the emotional work that's necessary.
That's good.
For instance, if you had a scar on your arm, maybe you injured yourself one way or the other and never actually treated it, it went on for years and years and years, and there was no healing, no bonding it, no getting out of the infection. 20 years later, even if I were to stroke you on the side of your arm in love, you would feel pain and you would feel like I'm hurting you.
Absolutely.
And that's the same thing we do with our emotional wounds.
Yes.
We cover them, we pretend they don't exist, we pretend they're not there, and then 20 years later, we're wondering why I can't have connection with my spouse.
Now that's good, connection. I like that connection
pain.
because I hear a lot, I was sexually molested, but I can't tell my husband. How you be with him for 20 years and you can't tell him, or he touches me a certain way that man did that I hate, and then we explode, and I can't do that.
And now he's suffering for something that he has absolutely nothing to do with.
And he doesn't even know it.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Here's where honesty comes in, and the wife can help her husband.
1 minute.
She can help her husband.
Okay.
Can do certain things. Helping him to understand her. And with the men need other men in their lives to talk to them about their marriage relationship.
That's good. Accountability.
I can remember when my marriage was in trouble, and there was a man came along, a brother in Christ came along, he said, "Let me talk to you."
Yeah, that's good.
And he spoke to my spirit, and he told me the things that I needed to do toward her to bring her to where she needs to be. More times than many, your wife she's at this certain place because that's where you led her.
Oh, that's good.
So you have to understand your role.
Right.
My brother here said roles. There are roles. God has ordained these roles. And we have to be taught how to fulfill those roles.
And so this is a great area of teaching that has to take place for us. When we come back, we'll ask these men the questions women want to know about sex.